See, like I promised, today is going to be for a lot of reflection and introspection, and a lot of us are going to have to, create to-do list, action points after after this. Like, what is that thing you're going to change? What is that thing you're going to improve as we move forward? All right, we have spoken to, we said this is the PACE edition. We've spoken to professionals. We've gotten a sense of what the expectation or, our predictions, in quote, for what the future of work is. Now we are going to be taking it further, and we are going to be addressing the academics, the creatives, and the entrepreneurs. We're going to be preparing them for what national and economic development will look like. Are you excited about that? Yes. So it's going to be a very enriching session. This is for the bookworms, the nerds, let me call it that. But people that really want to position themselves to see our nation grow economically and otherwise as well. To lead us in this session, Sisi Ayaba, I want you to start applauding as I start saying it. So just start preparing your arms for battle. And the battle is that applause. He's a trailblazer. He has been and will always be one. He graduated with a prestigious first-class honors division and was ranked overall best graduating student in the class 2001. So this is, I want to say OG before IG. The second overall best graduating student in the entire university at the time. He currently serves as the director of the Entrepreneurship and Skills Development Center, University of Lagos, Nigeria, and he pioneered the development of entrepreneurship and the innovation ecosystem at the University of Lagos. And as somebody that graduated from the University of Lagos, I can admittedly say that he did such a fantastic and phenomenal job, because the entrepreneurial energy in Unilag truly changed, and there was a clear difference. I could see it. And that led to, like I just said, a sporadic change in the campus-wide entrepreneurship education in that university. And today, almost all Nigerian universities follow that system, that innovation model that he put in place. He has been featured in over 120 publications in revered academic journals, international conferences, workshops, books of reading, technical and professional presentations across the world, specifically on enterprise building and management. If I read his accolades, I don't think we're going to leave here today, but I want us to give a honorable round of applause to Professor Sunday. If you can stand, please give him that ovation, to Professor Sunday Abayomi Adebisi, as he leads us in that session on national economic development. Can we keep the applause going? Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, you may be seated. It's a very great honor to be with you at this, I think it's afternoon now, this afternoon. And I want to really appreciate the pastor for the amazing job he's doing here. Thank you very much. Because you are actually, working with the youth, and we can see the wonderful things that you are doing. Thank you very much. So, I'm a teacher. So, and it's important that I had as one. I don't know, I have a presentation that I said should be shown to us so that you can follow me. We can see it together. When you see, it can be very, wonderful as you assimilate. And I want to really appreciate the last speaker. Can you please put your hands together once again for her? And our pastor, that was an amazing piece. An amazing piece, for that matter. And thank you very much, ma'am. So, my system is not coming up, but I'm ready. So my phone is by my side. So, all right. Okay, thank you. The first thing I did is to look at, we talk about algorithm. As a teacher, I will want you to understand what this means, because we should not take it for granted that everybody already understands how to link this algorithm with PACE. So the first thing I did is to let us look at what it means when we talk about algorithm. So you follow me. I don't like saying next slide, so you know I'm trying to go to the next one now. So I asked a question: what are algorithms? So that it's important for you to quite understand the reason why, in this time and age, this church, an amazing, youth church, is trying to say you need to understand what algorithm means and how to use it and how to deploy it and how to create algorithms for your life and for all the things you do. So when you check what is there, I said, is that set of known acceptable rules for achieving an expected output. I know many of us that we do computing, AI. You talk about algorithms a lot. Many of us do not even know that our life needs its own algorithms. Everything you do, the job you do, needs its own algorithms. And when you understand, how algorithms combine, it becomes very easy for you to be successful, like our last speaker has told us. Then you will understand the method to use at every point in time. You look at another thing I said there about algorithm, is that clear pathway followed to arrive at what? A targeted destination with what? Precision. It is that clear pathway. That is to say, for everything in your life, whether the job, the education, whatever you want to do, there are some set of rules that must be followed. Those rules are broken. You cannot break them. When you break them, you are not likely going to get the desirable result. And it's important. That is what this is trying, to actually, tell us. And if you look at the last one there, it says a sequence of instruction that must be followed to solve a well-defined human or societal problems. Because we are all here today as humans, and all we do, we either, contribute in building the society or destroying the society. It's important for us to understand that there are some sequence of step-by-step instruction about, our life, about entrepreneurship, about job, about being a professional, that when you follow them, naturally, results begin to fall in place. Therefore, now that we've understood that you have to design, an algorithm, it's very important. You have to experiment it, and you have to ensure that it is implemented. When you want to create one, what are the characteristics of good algorithms? Whether as students, as professionals, as creatives, or as an entrepreneur, what are some of the characteristics, that you must ensure that whatever step you are actually building in achieving whatever you want to achieve is precise and can help you to achieve what you want to achieve. So it's just the same algorithm that you use, when you're computing or when you are writing codes. There must be a well-defined input because it is input and output relationship. So at every point in time, those steps that you want to create for what you know as a professional, to get to the peak of the ladder, you must be able to ask yourself, what are the things I need to do? What are the inputs? What are the things that need to be available? What are those short courses that I need to do? What are the learning that need to take place for me to excel in the next thing I want to do? Again, it must have a well-defined output. The reason is this, because you don't want to start, chasing the shadow. If you do not understand the input-output relationship of any step you actually want to take, you may not be able to measure the result. You may not even know where result has occurred. So it's important. It must be unambiguous. It must be something, that is visible, quite effective, when you apply it as a professional or as a student or as a creative. It must equally, create efficiency, and it must be reusable. So when you now want to develop human solution center algorithm, because there are, 4 categories of people here today that we're speaking to. We're speaking to the professionals, the academic, the creatives, and the entrepreneurs. And each of these, people, they will have to have a set of algorithms for them to be able to achieve whatever objective they've set for themselves. And at every point in time, human-centered solutions, will come out of our algorithm. And there are ways and manner that, you do this. And that is the next thing that you are seeing. You must, at every point in time, be able to define what the problem actually is. It's very important. You must be able to do what? To be able to identify what it is. And once you define the problem, you must be able to analyze, those data that will help you to generate solutions to what, those problems. And the next is to generate alternatives. Because of this, if there is one solution to a problem, that one solution itself is a problem. Because if it kaput, it means that you cannot fall back on anything. So you generate set of, alternative, okay, how do I navigate this? What are the things I can do? How do I prioritize what I need to do? Those things are quite very important. Once you generate the alternative, you must do a critical evaluation of those options. So that, do you want to do cost-benefit analysis of it? Do you want to look at the most easy to implement, first of all? Given the kind of resources you have available. All of this, are quite important. It's a step because it's an algorithm. And once you've done that, you select one of the alternatives, which becomes the first solution to be implemented. And you still have so many other solutions. If this one does not really work, you have alternative. And then once you select, you implement the solution, and you do not stop at that. You monitor your career, you monitor your academics, you monitor the output and the product of your creativity, you monitor whatever you're doing as an entrepreneur. So what I have actually done is for us to have an insight into algorithm so that we know that we need to create one for ourselves, whether as professional, whosoever we are, as the case may be. I do hope that someone has gotten something from this. All right. So, I then move to looking at, what I call Peace for NED. Like the pastor spoke to me, that, we have to look at both the professional academic. So I've seen that my colleagues have spoken so much on the professional, so I will just touch a bit on it so I can move very quickly. But there was a definition I brought for the professionals, which is not usually quite understood. And that is the definition of management. If you can project that, oh, that's fine. That's fine. I thought as much, but so it's okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So I want you to look at the definition of management. And every professional here today, if you understand this definition, it is not possible for you not to get to the peak of your career. And you just need to run with it. Management as a process, whereby a manager, you see some things are boarded, uses the available resources at his disposal to achieve predetermined organizational goals and objectives effectively and efficiently, despite the limitations imposed upon him as a professional. You see, there are a whole lot of things inside that place. And very quickly, just for you, just for your benefit, who is a manager? There are some core 8 characteristics. It does not necessarily, when we say a manager, remember when you're a professional, you may start as an executive trainee, that does not mean that you are not aspiring to be the CEO. So that we say a manager does not mean we're not speaking to the executive trainee. So that is very important. So a manager just means the person in this place. So it needs to be quite understood. So these are the characteristics expected of you as a manager for you to have. And these are very common, for us. Now, let's pick available resources. What are the available resources? Just move to the next. These are your available resources. We call it the 4 M's plus T. Man, money, material, machine, and time. And unfortunately, these available resources have some specific characteristics. And their characteristics are very important for you to understand if you want to go far with it. Man is extremely unpredictable. That, like our last speaker who is a recruiter, will tell you that there will have been some recruitment she has done and say, oh, this is the best I've brought to this organization. And quarter 1, quarter 2, you are doing appraisal. I interview. If I were not to be in the interview, I would have thought maybe because it was done. Is that, have you, sorry, man, I don't know. Have you had any, you understand? You'll be second-guessing yourself again as an expert. Why? Because man is unpredictable. And unfortunately, because I need to be quick on this, unfortunately, the rest of the resources are going to be controlled by this man. So in your own case, seated in this place today, you are the man, that you are unpredictable. Then you control all these resources. Then when you understand this characteristic of yourself, you will therefore, develop some set of algorithms that will put you in check so that you continue to be at least viably, predictable for you to achieve, your professional career. So it's important for us to know, because man is a social man. And along your career path, there will be a lot of men who will either, make or mar that career. But then you are the custodian of that professional career. So whatever your boss does or your office colleague does, you will never allow it, to determine the extent you can go, because you now know that man is what? Extremely unpredictable. So when you look at, matching is mechanistic in nature, you can determine the input-output relationship. So managing it is not much of a problem. Money too, you can measure it, how much 10,000 can buy, 20,000 can buy. That in itself, again, is a resources that you can develop out, some algorithm of measuring it, including materials. Time is destructive and irredeemable. And it becomes one of the most delicate resources that is available for you as a professional. Because immediately after, my watch is telling me maybe 12, whatever, let me use, the one that is saying 1:23 p.m. now. Immediately we leave 1:23 p.m. today, Saturday, January 17, 2026, you can never get it again for life. It's destroyed. You can see that time. So whatever you need to do as at this point, if you're supposed to be here now, forget it. Oh, pastor is kind. He will put it on our media handle. You are going to use the time you're supposed to use for other things that is waiting to watch what you're supposed to be, listening to here now. And you keep on pushing everything, and everything, keeps on being pushed. So these are 10. That is, you do 10 different jobs. There are times the skills for the 10 jobs are not in alignment. They are quite different. Just like she was telling you the other time, what you did in here, is not necessarily helping you to do the next one. You have to build the next skill to do it. And it's important for us. And education, just like she said about the university today, that is what some of us are trying to do, to connect, what we're doing now to the reality of today and the future. It's no longer, if you read accounting today, you may end up not even being able to practice that accounting because there are a lot of software that can do better accounting than you. So then, what value are you going to add? That's very important. Creative, the creative algorithm. Again, what is creative entrepreneurship? So I asked that question again, which is process of creating and running a business, offering innovative services or products in a creative industry. And we're saying that your own algorithm is the freedom to turn your passion into profession. So flexibility and control over your work, and it gives continual personal development and learning new skills, because within your mindset, a creative mindset is a mindset at every point in time that can turn anything around him or her into innovation that can be seen differently. And once it is seen differently, what happens at the end of the day is that it can always, be appreciated. Some distinctive, creative economy sector, if you want to know, you have those skills. You know that you are creative within yourself. These are areas you can focus on: digital art, creative education and skill development. That is, you have the skill and you can help other people to acquire the skill, and you can create a platform where people can learn the skill, and you get value for that. People pay you for them to learn the skill, and you are a very big platform where that can happen. You can do that. Gaming, sport, sustainable fashion and design, health awareness, creative. It's outside there now. You see, Tai Chi now is the one that everybody is crazy about. You find it, propping up on your distance, and people are subscribing, people are paying. You can't go into that. Creative tech solutions. Today, technology that web creatives, if you're sound, it's an area you can, and cultural tourism and heritage. These are, areas, you can pay attention. Becoming a creative entrepreneur, your land, things that the algorithm I spoke about, is that you have to assess your talent, knowledge, experience, and your personality, so as to know which of those ones we mentioned, you should go into. You have to identify the right niche for your skill set, very important. And you must create a business plan of how you want to deploy these skills and use it. And you must not be afraid of failure. You must want to try it out and not afraid of what? Of failure. You must be able to network with other creative and grow your creative innovative. So let's quickly, go to entrepreneurs, which is, I'm trying to touch on another part of this. So we go to the entrepreneurs algorithm. And this is the definition of entrepreneurship. But look at the last one. Who is an entrepreneur? And this is what you need to try to make yourself to be if you really want to follow through that pathway. You should be an eagle who spots societal opportunities and convert them to what? Convert them to profitable business venture. Because if you're an entrepreneur and you do not have solution as a product or service, you are going to struggle. So a businessman is different. I'm just coming from an executive MBA class where I taught entrepreneurship and separating between entrepreneurship and a businessman. So they are wise apart, but I will not permit us. But this is what you must know. An eagle is a bird that has capacity to fly above the rain when it is raining. But eagle does not eat dead meat and does not eat its meat in the air. At that altitude, the eagle will spot the meat it wants to eat on earth, even when it's inside the trap, and come for it. An eagle does not go hungry. That's what an entrepreneur is. So at every point in time, when they're talking about Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that, you are looking for the opportunity in it. I used to say this: the dysfunctionality of this nation is the best enterprise opportunity. Is the best enterprise opportunity. It is only in Nigeria you can wake up in a day and put a kiosk in front of your house, and you'll have become a millionaire. Nobody is asking you what this kiosk is doing here. Every other nation is highly regulated. There's a place where you can do business. There's a place where you can do this. So when people complain about that dysfunctionality, I say, hey, it's the greatest opportunity you have. It is only in Nigeria OPay can become what it becomes before it was regulated. It can't happen in any country in Africa. It's only in Nigeria that, Flutterwave will grow to what it is, and it's even sold before Nigeria says they're cropping at about $250 million, and it's not regulated by even anybody. That is the nation. And that is the opportunity for most of the startups that are seated in this place. They will understand some of them. Now that the nation is waking up, people like us professionals are telling them, don't over-regulate. Because what has led Nigeria to be leading in startup creation in Africa is because you slept over that regulation. If you begin to over-regulate again, it can become a crisis. That's the truth. So that dysfunctionality is a great, advantage in Nigeria. So we should stop really trying to, talk about. So this, if you're an entrepreneur in this place, just take a picture of this. I'll soon, get out from there. And go and begin. So, and go and begin, do a 0 to 10. Do a 0 to 10 on each of the characteristics. 0 to 10. You are not bringing it to me. Don't bring it to the pastor. Be honest to yourself. Every week, begin to rate yourself on how you are doing on this. There is the argument in our discipline whether entrepreneurs are born, they are created, they are made. All of above. All of above. So this is my technique of creating entrepreneurs and of making entrepreneur. If you do this in 6 months and you are very realistic, you will have built some of these characteristics in a way and manner that will be so shocking to you. So you can. And so I went on to talk about, go on. You have a lot of things, I went on to talk about traditional entrepreneur, why you have to go digital. Go on, because I'm just going to go on. There are a lot of things to find inside. I'm a teacher, so I have to get to be able to know when you have this, your life must not remain the same again. Yeah. So I'm taking the last slide. Go on. Yeah, I tie it to national economic development. You find it there. What Nigeria is doing and know why Nigeria stand out. Go ahead. When pastors say, I'm going to do a whole lot of things, so you made me not to sleep. I mean, that's fine. So this is our success story. So go on. I just want to take 2 slides. Go on. Go on, yes. Was Jesus Christ an entrepreneur? Because, we must ask ourselves that question. Whether this entrepreneurship we're talking about, whether it's even scriptural. And let's see whether Jesus Christ, whether he was an entrepreneur. And I've proven that time without number. I'm not preacher, I'm not pastor, I'm meant to teach. But because Jesus Christ is our example inside this place, was he truly an entrepreneur? And you will see that, first of all, like she told us, and pastor said at the beginning, he distinguished himself as a carpenter, first of all. That is why he could be talked about as the son of a carpenter. He was following his father. You understand? Who is a carpenter? And they knew that this man has a son. Maybe it became part of the challenges the Pharisee had. You that you came to mend my chair, you are now talking about scripture. Who are you? So that became, part of the challenges. You understand? But he was diligent in mending the chair, and by the time he entered the church, he became extremely, diligent. Remember, Jesus Christ is a social entrepreneur, and he has created a social entrepreneurship outfit as a sole entrepreneur, just with 12 other, co-founder that you could call a co-founder. You understand? And he later employed the 3,000 other staff in Acts of Apostles to the various outlets in Asia, Middle East, Europe, America, Africa, and today's world. The activities of Jesus Christ led missionaries to creating schools and institutions. The education you have today is an offshoot of the entrepreneurship characteristic of Jesus Christ. Today, 2.38 billion Christians exist in the world and is the largest religion on earth because it constitutes 1/3 of the entire world. Passion and intentional tenacity of Christ was responsible for this. This church today, this church is an offshoot. You understand? It's an offshoot of the entrepreneurship, activity of Jesus Christ. Therefore, if you must all thrive like Christ, what will happen? No alternative than what? Entrepreneurial spirit. So my last slide, go to it. This is all you need to do. And this is the major crisis, whether for professionals, whether for academics, whether for entrepreneurs. Many things you say you cannot do. The only thing disturbing you not to do it is just this small thing that is there. And you only need to pick your scissors and take it off. And when you take it off, what does it become? I can.